Hello and welcome back to whoever has been watching my videos. Um, my name is Linda and I'm coming to you from southern Sweden with the wonderful weather of windy and maybe some rain. We'll see. Today it's Sunday, what's the date? July 7th. You can find me on Instagram as Zudrazil and on Ravelry as Lisodus. All my projects I talk about will be linked in the description below, as well as eventual links to yarn stores I've been visiting and things like that, if I have the information. Today we have a few finished objects, a few works in progress, a lot of acquisitions, some gifts and some things I bought myself, and also a finished object that will be frogged, well, one of them. And in the end I will talk about what I've been up to since the last episode. I can't remember what episode this is. 6, 7? Might be 7. 6 or 7. Anyway, welcome. I think we'll start with my finished objects, right? The first finished object is a crochet blanket that I made for my daughter. It's the Easy Ripple Afghan by Susan B on Ravelry. I made it in Go Handmade Boheme Velvet Aran. And using 3 colors, we have lavender, dark lavender, and plum. I crocheted it using 5.5 millimeters, and the finished size is about 160 centimeters tall and 110 centimeters wide, something like that. Took some time. I finished it. When did I finish it? I started it in January, 3rd of January, and I finished it on June 16th. So she was using it even before I finished it, so I had to crochet the last bit while she was using it. But she likes it. It was a fairly fast crochet, even if it took time to finish it. It was mostly because I was, of course, working with other things. Easy to understand pattern. And I used, for every stripe, I used 1 ball of the yarn. So it was easy to count out what I needed. Let's see. That's that. Let's go on to the other finished project that I will frog one of the socks. This is from the Sweater Wear the Sock Club by Knit On Design. And this specific pattern is Fall Sweet Fall Socks. I used some leftover yarn. I used Lana Grassa Melonbait Action in color 2967, and for the contrast I used Hobby Unicorn Solid in caramel. This was the first one I made, and as you can see, I had to switch colors before the toe started. because I was using leftovers, I tried to make them the same, but when I started knitting on the second one, I ran out of color about here instead. So I wasn't happy with that, so I ripped back the second sock and I reknitted it. And I used the contrast color, the caramel, for the cuff, heel and toe. And as you can see, this one made it the entire way. So now I need to rip back the first one and knit it the same as the second sock. So finished but not finished for those. These are knitted on 2.5 millimeters and I cast on 64 stitches. My third finished object is, Pärlan. I joined a group on Facebook called, what is it called? Sock Knit Cal 2024, I think. And all the patterns in there are by, I should have checked her name. I'll write it on top, Hanne something. So this is Pärlan. I used Hobby Black Friday sock in the color black. I cast on 64 stitches. And it has this lace pattern on the foot as well as the back. I'll try to show you under the sock. It's hard to show on black socks. I haven't. This was my first time doing this kind of, I think it was called a stronghold heel or something. It's pretty interesting construction because you knit the heel at the same time as you knit the front. So you do all the increases for the gusset in here at the same time. It was really enjoyable to knit. I did a few mistakes in the lace, but I did not rip back. For me, since they're off for me, I didn't care that much. This is the heel. So you have the lace pattern at the heel and you have the lace pattern in the sock as well. Really nice knit. I'm probably gonna make another pair in a brighter color to make them show up more. The pearls are 2 millimeter. I don't know. I just bought them on Temu. I know it's not the best app, but it was cheap and I just wanted to try knitting with pearls. So there it is. And you can see that some of the pearls are really large and some are smaller. So I guess what you get what you pay for, but since it was for an experiment with pearls, I did not care that much. I think that's all my finished objects. Yes, so the crochet blanket and 2 pairs of socks, whereas I will frog one of the socks to reknit that. Let me check for a second. I'm not sure if I had finished the vanilla socks the last time. I've already given them to my friend since it was for her mother, but I will insert a picture here on them done. And it was the yarn I used for the leftovers for my socks. And I just used a basic vanilla sock pattern by Susanne Sjögren. Anyway, for my works in progress, let's start with my... Actually, let's start with my oldest whip. These socks I started late August last year, and I did knit on them for a while and then I stopped. and they've been just laying there in my pile. But since I finished those 2 socks, I figured I won't cast on any new ones on at the moment. So I've been knitting on this pair. Or was it Friday? So Friday and Saturday this week, to try and finish them, but my hands are hurting when I'm knitting these. Anyways, these are, I need to go from back, Not Your Average Cat Lady Socks by Emma LK. And I'm knitting them in opal yarn, yes, black, and opal surprise in color 4061. I have my iPad here with the Ravelry page. I think in the pattern you would do a afterthought heel, if I remember correctly, but I changed it to make a heel flap and gusset, and I made stripes on the bottom of the foot. So it's almost there. I don't have that much left, maybe a half repeat or 1 repeat left before the toe, and I'm knitting them 2 at a time. And when I stopped the last time, I was over here. So hopefully these will be done before I reach 1 year. We'll see. I'm trying to get them done now in July. So hopefully by the next time I record, I'll have them as a finished object. But as I said, my hands hurts when I knit on them too much. So I'm trying. And there's so many other patterns that are fun to knit as well. But I really want those socks. So I'm trying hard to get them done. We also have my daughter's Hannah cardigan that I started on April 6th. And I'm knitting this one using Drop Sky in the color 14. So I finished the entire body. The sleeves, I used a tubular cast off for all the edges. And I'm currently working on the I lost some stitches. The double knitted band that I apparently just pulled all of my stitches off. Let's see if I can find them. Now this is the bad part about having this circular needle and no stitch stoppers. Okay. So, yeah, I was doing a buttonhole, that's why. So here's the double knitted button band with the buttonholes. I made 1, I made 2, and I'm working on the 3rd one, and then there will be a 4th one. In the pattern, you're supposed to knit with 2 threads of fingering weight, and when you knit the bottom band, you only use 1 thread. But since I use Drop Sky, I use the same for the double knitted button band. So I'm not sure how it will turn out, but it's a new thing for me. I haven't knitted one before, so that's interesting, fun to learn. but it's taking a long time. But I figured I will try, even if it's a DK, to knit the double knitted bottom band. I will try to do it with the same yarn. If it doesn't work out, I will just rip it back and make the ribbed bottom band as she suggested in the pattern for when you use a DK yarn. But that's my Hannah cardigan by Sarah Antipenkov. I'm probably butchering the name, but I'll write it up here. So that's that. I also took up another UFO since I told myself not to cast on new socks right now. I'm waiting until next week. So tomorrow, Tuesday. So I grabbed my husband's Christmas socks. I'm using Hobby yarn again. This is their glitter sock. Happy Christmas sock wool glitter in color number 3, Comet. And for these I'm just knitting an ordinary vanilla, 2 at a time, and I cast on 72 stitches. So this is again where I was the last time I knitted on them. So I haven't gotten that far, but I'm knitting them 2 at a time, pulling from the same yarn ball, so the stripes are inverted. I really like how the stripes turn out though, and I'm kind of regretting I'm not knitting them 1 at a time so they're exactly the same. But on the other side, and yeah, I don't care. They're similar enough. They are. What else? Okay, we have my vine top. Let me just find somewhere to put that. We have my vine top, and I'm not sure what I will do with this. As I think I said before, the last time I did rip it back and I re-knitted it, and I've gotten a fairly long way on the body. Let's see. Sorry for the eventual clicking of my needle. I really enjoy the pattern. It's just a bit fiddly because you have 2 different stages for your cables. So what I have now is on the back I have 1 set of cables, and on the front piece I'm on a different row of the cables, and that's fine. I just have 1 set up on my phone and 1 set up on my iPad, so I can keep track on what row I am on. So that's all fine. And here you can see the striping because I chose to use my old yarn, even though it's a lighter color than the new skeins I got, the 2 new skeins I got. But the thing is, oh yeah, maybe you want to know. It's the vine top by Athena Leo, and I'm knitting it in Kvitlammet Exclusive Posh Garn in the color Mosseteppe. And she colored up 2 new skeins for me that I got when I was in Norway in February, I think. So I could have used those 2 to avoid the striping, but I don't think I care that much. We'll see how it ends up. Anyway, I tried it on, and it's supposed to be a negative ease, but I'm thinking maybe it's too much of a negative ease. So now I'm considering if I need to rip back yet again and choose a bigger size. I haven't checked my gauge. I need to do that before I rip back, because it's supposed to be let me check. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be a gauge of 22 stitches and 30 rows, and supposed to be knitted in a sport weight. So I tried holding the yarn together, but I just thought I didn't like it. So I need to check my gauge, but it's not that see-through. It's a bit, of course, but if I have it on, it's not that see-through. So I'm gonna check my gauge and then make a decision if I want to rip it back and make a size larger. I'm knitting the size medium now, or size 3. I can't remember what it says in the pattern, if it's numbers or letters. Anyway, size 3, medium. And looking at the pictures of the pattern, it seems to sit a bit looser than it is on me. As I said, it's supposed to be on negative ease, but I just think I have too much negative ease. Let's see. Designed to fit with 5 centimeters or 2 inches of negative ease. So anyway, I need to check my gauge on that to see if I need to rip back and make another larger size, because I want it, but I'm just realizing I'm not getting it done for this summer. But I will have it done for next summer, hopefully. I'm not gonna say we'll see, because if I have to rip back, it might be taking a longer time. Yeah, my ranunculus I haven't touched. I still need to rip back and fix that, so it's the length I want. Anyway, I think that's all my finished objects and my whips. This will be a very acquisition heavy episode. My mom spent 1.5 months in the US and Colombia, and last winter my cousin's kids were here, and I did receive the yarn for the skutan shawl I made. I'll insert a picture just to remind you. And I really like that yarn, and I want to make more, maybe skutan, but maybe something else, maybe some different shawls. So I asked my cousin's wife if she could take my mom and get some more of that yarn. And the yarn is Uruguayan wool yarn by Punto Yarn. This is their label. It's 100% merino in DK. So you have 190 meters to 100 grams. So I got 2 whites, or crudo. I received 2 yellows, which is amarillo. I can't read it. Amarillo quemado, maybe. 2 yellows, just to compare with the whites. And I got 2 greens, which is verde claro, number 13. And I got 2, what would you call this? Red? Mauve? I'm not sure. Merlot, so wine red. I'll hold up one of each just to show you. Let's see if we can get this. So I got these for 2 of each to make 2 more shawls, was the plan. But now I'm not sure which color to pair together. should I pair the green and yellow together and then the white and red, or should I pair the Merlot and yellow and the green and white, or I don't know. Give me suggestions on how to pair them, because I want 2 of each. Well, I'm thinking I want to pair them 2 and 2 together. So give me any suggestions in the comments below on how to pair the colors. I really love them, and they're perfect for autumn, winter, spring, because they're cozy. They're really nice. Okay, so that was the yarn from Colombia. And then, I'm not sure if I showed it last time. Had I received them then? Or maybe I'll just show you. No, I'll show you now. Because I was talking about the Dahlia knit along that my friends and I are planning to do. And I received the Kid Silk yarn. It's Kid Silk Ale in the color 9048. I think it was called Honey or something. And I plan to pair this with this one for the Dahlia cardigan. This is Lisa Linkvan's Tweedo. It's a fingering, 75% superwash, 15% nylon, and 10% nip. And I really love this color. So I'm gonna swatch it and I'll see, because I don't want this one to take over too much from the Tweedo, because I really like the Tweedo. But I think the colors would work good together. And Kid Silk Ale is 76% mohair, 26% silk, and 18% wool. I have not used it yet. I never used any mohair yarn. It feels a little bit prickly. So we'll see what I feel about it. But I'm gonna swatch it. And probably for next time I need to have a swatch for next time, because I'm planning that we'll start it in August. So I need to check with my friends as well and see how they're doing with their yarn plans for the cardigan. Anyway, so that was a half acquisition for a plan I have that I need to do. Okay, so we spent midsummers in Borås with my brother there, well, in Frista. And then in the beginning of this week, we went to Nässjö to my other brother, because my kids were there with their grandma and him. And this time I actually went there when they had their yarn store open. And I can't remember what the name is. Nässjö Hantverk och Garn, maybe? I'll write it. I'll write it here. Anyway, I was lucky and she was open, because I've only been there in the weekends before, I think. And this was on Monday, yes. And I was lucky she had 20% off. And I was not supposed to buy any more yarn, because I have a lot at the moment. Not a lot compared to some, so but according to my husband, I have a lot. So anyway, I went in and she had 20%. And I found this one, Vikengarn Alpaca Breeze Multi. And it's 100 grams, 270 meters. The color number is 252. And it's a 42% baby alpaca, 33% merino and 25% nylon. It's a blown yarn. Well, that's hard to show. I don't think it's focusing properly. But it's a blown yarn. So I bought 2 because I figured I'm gonna make a shawl. I'm not a shawl person. But it's fun to knit, and I figured if I don't use them, I could always gift it to others, right? But I chose my colors in case I want to use it by myself. You'll probably hear the ice machine in the kitchen. It's warm, even if it's windy, and we need ice. So that's the ice machine you hear. Anyway, my daughter, my youngest, also found 2 yarns that she wanted me to knit a pair of half gloves of. So she found these 2. It's an acrylic. It's 220 meters for 50 grams. And the color is 2015 and 2025. They look the same. This one is a little bit more lavender in real life compared to what the camera is picking up. I'll see how it is in editing mode. But that's a light blue, and that's a lavender blue. So we'll see what pattern I she'll choose for these. I think it's a fingering, basically, maybe a sport. I'm not sure. It says 3 millimeters will make 26 for 10 centimeters. Maybe a fingering, yeah, sport. I'm not sure. I'll find a pattern that she likes. And then this is the good part, because my husband can't say anything. It's if it's my kids who wants me to knit stuff, because that doesn't count as my buying, right? It doesn't. I have a way around it. Anyway, my son found Sun Has Gone cues in these 2 colors. So it's color 6079, and the red raspberry one is 4600, so 4600. So I bought 3 of each, and he wants a striped sweater probably with these 2. So it's a dark blue and a raspberry color, raspberry red. That's what I call them, at least. I'm not good at saying what nuances things are. It's like, it's blue or red. This will go more of the pinkish red, but a raspberry, I think. So I'm considering flax, since he liked that one. A striped flax, probably, in Sun Has Gone cues. So that's another plan I need to do. I have so much yarn. Anyway, this last bit is not really acquisitions. It's I've been dabbling with solar dyeing, and after that even more dyeing. So first of all, I'll show you the undyed one. So this is some wool yarn I received from my mother-in-law. She made a sweater, but then didn't like the sweater, so she ripped it all back. I'm guessing this is worsted or iron weight, I think. So I got a bag full of balls of this yarn. So I've been experimenting with dyeing them, and first I tried solar dyeing. So I put out a jar with red onion skins and a jar with spent coffee nut beans, you know, the coffee soup. Coffee beans, spent coffee beans. and a jar with daffodil leaves, no flowers because I didn't have any flowers, only leaves. And I also have a jar with avocado skins and peonies, and now coffee. Yes, the first 3 jars, the spent coffee beans and the daffodil leaves did not give basically any color at all. It's just, yeah, it was basically the same undyed color. It maybe gave a tint to the little more beigey color. So those have been overdyed since then. But the red onion skin, it turned out like this. It's so hard to capture on the camera. It's in real life, it's like me and my husband say, grass stained green. You know, like the patches you can get on your pants if you get a grass stain. It's basically that green. Maybe considered a olive green, maybe, but no, I would say a grass stained green is the best description of it. So we have this one. That was the red onion skins, solar dyed. It was out for 6 weeks. Then I joined a free course from La Creative Mama, and she had a 3-day dyeing course. So she talked about how to prepare your yarn or fibers for dyeing, and then how to dye it and everything like that. So my first experiment on the last Friday, I followed her instructions and I did 50% weight of the yarn, of the fiber, so 50% yellow onion skin, which would be about 50 gram yellow onion skin, to dye up a skein of yarn. And this is what came out. The top one, of course. A really nice, I would say, coppery orange. We can compare it with the yellow from the Uruguayan yarn. And then there was still some dye left, so I put in another skein after I took out the other one, and this one turned out lighter yellow. And my plan with this yarn is to make a blanket. It's gonna be my experimental yarn dyeing blanket. So after that, I went to Lidl and I asked one of the staff there if I could empty out their... No, actually it was before. Yeah, it was before I dyed, because that was the onion skin. Anyway, I got a paper bag full of onion skins from them. So Saturday evening and Sunday, I spent my time dyeing up more yarn. Let's see if I can show it all. So this is the result of that. So first of all, again, I counted 50% of the weight, and I planned to dye up 3 skeins. So I think I had, well, it wasn't completely 100 grams, so I think I had 133 grams of onion skins. This one was a bright white Avetta that I found in a secondhand store for 10 crowns. So it's this yarn. It was a bright white. It's 75% wool and 18% polyamide, nylon, and 7% acrylic. So I put this one in, and I also put in different halves of skeins of these three, but I decided to leave half of it up to get different colors. So we have this one. You can see the bright yellow, it doesn't show up that well on the camera, and we have the really dark oranges. We have this one. I think this one was the one I did like the bottoms or something. I did different amount of the skein. And then we have this one. This one is a darker, yeah, if you compare here, this one is darker than that one. And then I put in this skein. It has some variations, but not as much. It's hard to capture on camera. This one looks more, it's darker here and lighter here, but it's not that obvious. And then I had some dye left. Actually, I probably could have dyed more, but we were going away on the Monday, so I poured it out, the last one. But I put in one last skein, and this one turned out basically like a little darker, but basically like the second exhaust of the first dye batch I did. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skeins plus the red onion skins. So 8. 7 yellows, 1 green for my blanket. And I still have yarn left, so I'm thinking I'm gonna try dyeing with a avocado pits the next time. See what we can achieve there. And this one is gonna turn into a pair of socks. I'm not sure how much there is. I think it was only a 50 gram according to the, where did I put it? Okay. I think it was only a 50 gram, yeah. 50 gram, 190 meters. So I have to weigh it, and maybe I can get a pair of shorties out of it, or combine it with some of the color to make a pair of shorties. We'll see what I can do with it. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, midsummer we spent in Frista. We went to, I can't remember the place. There was a lake to celebrate midsummer on Midsummer's Eve. There was a lake, and I actually took a dip in the lake. It was cold. It was very cold. So I took a dip, and then I went out and sat in the sun. Enjoyed the frogs jumping up and down and stuff like that. The kids, however, and my youngest oldest brother and the kids' cousins, they swam a lot. It was too cold. I didn't like it. But they took a very long swim. So we spent Friday and Saturday there, the midsummer weekend. Last weekend we just spent at home, me dyeing yarn. The kids were in Nässjö with my grandma, with their grandma, my mom. So they were there for a week. On Monday, me and my husband drove up to Nässjö. So we spent, well, we came up to Nässjö at around 3, 4? Around 4, because the yarn store closed at 5, so we went there first. On Tuesday we went to Gränna. It's my first time being there. even though I'm Swedish. But in Grenada, they're famous for making polkagrisar. And I didn't expect what we saw. They had every other store along the main street was a polkagris kokeri, where they make the candy, the hard candy. So we ran in and out of all the stores because my daughter wanted to find blueberry candy canes. Oh, that's the name, candy canes. She wanted to find blueberry candy canes. You know, the one who's shaped like a cane. And we didn't find it. They didn't have any blueberry candy canes at all. Not the one shaped like a cane. They had the straight ones and they had the smaller ones. Let me show them. Oh, I forgot the canes. Anyways, these are the big ones. This is the usual taste, the one with mint flavor that you can find. Basically can find. But they also have many different flavors, so we bought a lot. We bought a lot. I'm not gonna show them all. So you have like American Cola. We have, well, of course, the blueberry one. And except for the straight canes, candy canes, they have, you know, the small ones. This is fizzy bubblies, or yeah, fizzy bubblies. They have these little, sorry for the crinkling, pointy clubs. They have many different kinds. But anyway, no blueberry canes. So in the end, she got this one. So it was a nice day. There was a lot of people. It was warm, but not too warm. It was a nice sunny day. So we got some lunch, late lunch there. We bought some ice cream in the end and then took a stroll around Gränna. Not that far because there's a lot of hills up there. I mean, I'm from Skåne and it's pretty flat here. But up there, around Jönköping and everything, Nässjö and stuff like that, there's a lot of hills. So I mean, you basically had the roads leaning like this. So yeah, we were quite tired of that. But we got a lot of candy canes. And then on Wednesday, we went back home with the kids this time. So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to. Driving around, shopping, coloring yarn, shopping candy and yarn, as well as some pots for the coloring and dyeing. Went to a few secondhand stores to buy the different pots I needed. Trying to find a sieve, you know, the one metal sieves, and that was hard. I actually bought a new one so I could steal our old one from the kitchen to use. But apparently sieves are not a thing that people donate to secondhand stores. A lot of pots, yes, but no sieves. So now I have 1, 2, 3 pots for my dyeing, because I have a big aluminum, I guess it's aluminum, like a fisher. It's actually for fish, I think, because it has this insert. So I used that one to mordant my yarn, and I had one bigger pot. Is it maybe 10 liters? Somewhere between 5 and 10 liters. I haven't measured it. But I noticed when I was coloring up the yellow onion skin that I needed one more pot. So I could... Oh yeah, when I filtered the dye stuff out, I wanted one more pot so I could filter put the dye bath in the pot right away. Oh, yeah. That's it. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue with the things I have on my needles at the moment. I think on Tuesday, I think the mystery knit along for, why can't I remember the name? The socks. You know the socks. Stephen West? Yes. I think that mystery knit along starts on Tuesday, if I'm correctly. So I'm not gonna cast on any new socks until then. I also signed up for a test knit on a pair of lace socks, and that's supposed to start on Monday, but I don't know if I'm in or not. I haven't gotten a reply, so I assume I didn't get it. But that's two of the reasons I haven't cast on any new socks yet, because I have a lot of sock yarn and I have a lot of plans already for the socks. And currently I only have 2 pairs on my needles, and both of them are 2 at a time. And I actually have 2 sets of needles empty for socks. It's like never happened. And as well as my shorties, but I still haven't gotten completely comfortable with the shorties. And I think because I usually knit on a 2.5, but I'm actually thinking I'm starting to knit a bit looser now, I think. So I might have to buy a 2.25 millimeters to see, because I think I'm starting to knit looser now. I'm finally relaxing. I'm not that tense anymore. Yeah. July, I have vacation until the end of July. Is it until the 28th or something? So I hope to dye up some more yarn, maybe experiment with that, and to knit. It would be nice to finish those not your average cat lady socks in July. It's not that much left. I just need to do it. And then I need to swatch for the Dahlia cardigan to see if I like the combination of yarn. If I don't like it, I'm probably gonna use Straps Ear to knit it. The yarn I actually bought for the Antlers cardigan, but I can just get more yarn. Nah. And yeah, I don't have enough of this, otherwise this would be nice for the Dahlia cardigan. But this is only, what did I say? 270 meters, so it's not enough. Actually could be. Because I think this one and Air is the same thickness. Well, anyway, that's it. I don't think I have much more to talk about. That's a wee bit longer episode this time. That's nice. I've been a bit short and lacking stuff to talk about. I'll insert some pictures and stuff at the end. Yeah. You should. I wish you have a nice day, evening, week, weekend, wherever you are, and I hope you're enjoying the weather, whatever kind of weather you have. I do not like when it's too warm. I'm sweating already. If you have a vacation, enjoy your vacation, enjoy your knitting, crocheting, or crafting. And I'll talk to you next time. And if you've been watching, I thank you a lot for that as well. And do please leave a comment and a suggestion of which of the colors to pair together for shawls. And I'll see you in about 3 to 4 weeks or something like that. Have a nice day. Bye.